And I would just say on I guess, a personal note, well, not personal, but just like, I feel like we need more focus of legislation with discrimination in the medical system. It is very hard to get statistics. We just don't even, I mean, I was actually part of a news story on Channel 2 News, just specifically about the prescribing of tranquilizers in Utah, and he couldn't even get the hospitals and things to give him numbers. They wouldn't even give them over,
Yeah.
much less, so it was very difficult. But, personally, what I see in stories is I'm hearing, that COVID is affecting Blacks and Hispanics more, and I personally don't believe that this virus knows our skin color. And I don't think it's like where people are coming over to the new world and introducing us to things that we haven't been introduced to before. So why are more people dying from COVID? And from what I've seen, a lot of it is because it's in certain inner cities, it's in certain hospitals that treat a large majority of Blacks and Hispanics where these people are dying. So I don't have any concrete numbers to back that up, but it just as somebody who's Hispanic, to me, I'm like, that looks a little sketchy. And because of my personal experience, actually probably the worst form of systemic racism that I've ever faced in my life was out in North Carolina, and it had to do with the medical system out there. Mm-hmm. So same kind of thing, transparency, let's get some numbers, let's have some accountability, and oversight and things for prescribing practices and things like that. There's definitely, if there's implicit bias in these other things, there's going to be implicit bias in medicine.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's just one-on-one between you and your doctor. I mean, it's very easy,
Yeah.
For sure.
So I actually didn't get to the third objective in my little speech, so I'm going to jump into that before I forget. So, reassure people that you're not alone as you're working with the anti-racism. So I was talking with a social worker a number of years ago, and we were bringing up different social issues. And as we were talking, she just kind of collapsed. She was like, oh my gosh, it's, one more thing that I need to work on, one more thing that I need to solve. And so as I was talking with her, I was like, there's the phrase, don't turn a molehill into a mountain. What if we reversed the phrase? And what if we turned a mountain into just a bunch of different molehills? Because a molehill, that's doable. Each individual can move a molehill. Then collectively, we're going to be moving mountains. So as you're hearing about these problems that are going on, don't think that you have to do it all by yourself. You don't. Collectively, we're going to be able to do this. So as you think of the actions that you can take, and as you listen to more, educating more and asking questions to Jocelyn and Valina, that's helping to move the needle forward. So just a few things to keep in mind. And also with Jocelyn talking about the medical bias and implicit bias, there are data gaps, certainly. And it's not just race. For women, a lot of female conditions, they'd be like, oh, well, women are just, it's hysteria. And, heart attacks, women have different symptoms than men do. But that's not really covered in medical school. So a woman, she can go to the doctor and then, be released, say you're just fine, and die later because we're not educating about some of these biases. And I'm sure that it's there with race too. I just don't have as much knowledge there.
Yeah, no, I actually have more numbers as far as women. 1 in 4 women is on psychiatric drugs over the age of 40. So that just kind of tells you, again, any symptoms and things like that. I've heard story after story of women who go in with heart problems, things like that, and they're told, oh, you have anxiety, or oh, it's depression, or you know what I mean? And so then you're put on a psychiatric drug rather than actually addressing the problem.
Mm-hmm. Or go in and you have a thyroid problem, and they're like, you low energy, you must be depressed.
Yeah, exactly. I actually have it documented on my medical records, hysteria. I was accused of being hysterical when I went in, and I actually had a nervous system injury, a brain injury.
Oh my gosh.
So I was hysterical. Apparently I was hysterical, but I was actually very calm, by the way.